What's good with y'all boys, man? KJ and this bitch going up all 2026. Ain't chase no females, focus on getting rich on, bro. You new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to your boy, man. Y'all see the title, let's go ahead and get right.
At Thugger, man. Top say yo bitch ass ain't slime no more.
I didn't even know
Anyway,
these niggas was
how you want
beefing.
to do it?
Look at his ass.
Straight. You ain't slap no more. You a spider.
This nigga about 50.
Spider.
This nigga
How y'all
about
feel
50.
about that?
NBA Young Boy just told Young Thug through his homie Herm that Thug's bitch ass ain't slime no more, and then asked him how he want to do it. Read that again.
What?
The man who literally invented the word slime in rap culture, the man who built his entire identity, his entire label, his entire
What?
brand around the word slime, just got told by Top that he don't qualify for that title anymore,
What the fuck
and then
happened
got
to them
challenged on how
niggas?
he wants to address it. Herm Thaw Black Sheep, NBA. Young Boy's certified right-hand soldier, pulled up on Young Thug's Instagram and posted publicly for the world to see. Top say your bitch ass ain't slime no more anyway. How you want to do it? That's not a subliminal. That's not a vague bar on a mixtape. That's a direct,
fuck?
signed, timestamped,
fuck, bro?
publicly
Why is Young
posted
Boy
street
beefing this
challenge
nigga
from the
Young
Young
Thug,
Boy
bro?
camp to Jeffrey Lamar Williams.
Herm,
He told
yeah.
Thug he ain't
Bet
slime no
that
more.
Jeffrey,
What the fuck?
you know what up. You know what up from here. Hermie saying has another message for Thug. Oh yeah, bet Jeffrey know what's up from here.
Sent through the soldier most publicly associated with YB's loyalty. The same man who told the world he'd tie YB's shoes if they came untied, and aimed directly at one of the most dangerous men to ever pick up a microphone. The word slime is not just slang in this context, fam. You need to understand what that word means in the world these men
Let me know
exist in.
slime. Let
Young
me know
Thug
something
didn't
slime.
just use slime as a catchphrase. He didn't just throw it in hooks and ad-libs for flavor. He built a theology around it. YSL, Young Stoner Life, the slime movement, the slime language, the YSL chain, the slime nation. All of that is Thug's cultural DNA. He coined it. He spread it. He made it gospel in Atlanta and then in every city that adopted trap music as its soundtrack. When you call someone slime, you are invoking Thug's world.
Cause I don't think the motherfuckers in Minnesota that say it's slime just
We don't know
any
which
of
they
that
think
shit
of
that
that.
you just.
Yeah.
Why the fuck
Real
these
talk,
niggas
Because you
beefing,
broke
bro?
it down for people to
I
know.
say
I think
this shit
people,
in every video,
I
bro.
think people
It's
saying it for their
always some
own
shit
reasons.
going on
though.
in the world,
People,
bro.
nobody's.
Like
I don't
every day
think
you
that,
wake up, there's some new shit.
You know, it's just like the inner circle, like the ones that's like literally right here that know my meaning. You know what I'm saying? That was presented the opportunity to be a part of the family. They know the real meaning. You know what I'm saying? Other people that wasn't even presented the opportunity, they just feel like they in the family. I feel like every one of the individuals got their own meaning. They main meaning might be the same thing, but you got your own meaning of why you rocking with us, why you fucking with us, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like the biggest meaning is because we family oriented, you know what I'm saying? It's we locked in, so people just be like, damn, like, you know, I feel like most of our fans come from respect, like it's some respectful shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
When you say someone ain't slime, you are reaching into Thug's world and snatching back the one thing that defines it. And that is exactly what Young Boy just did through Herm. He reached into Thug's house and said, "You don't belong here anymore. Your bitch ass ain't slime. How you want to do it?" That is one of the coldest, most calculated disrespects in recent hip-hop history. And it happened
That shit
yesterday,
crazy.
May 15th, 2026. Y'all need to be locked in for this entire breakdown,
fuck
because
is
this
them
is not
niggas
just
being- why
Twitter
Young Boy
smoke.
say that
This is
shit,
not
bro?
two internet personalities going at it for content. This is the 4KT movement, the Never Broke Again camp, the most commercially dominant independent rap operation alive right now, pulling up on a man who just got out of one of the most consequential criminal cases in hip-hop history, a man who is on 15 years of probation, a man who cannot put a foot wrong, and saying, "Top said you ain't who you think you are. Now what? Let me break it all the way down for you." To feel the full weight of what just happened, you need context. Not just who these people are musically, but who they are politically, socially, and in terms of where they stand right now in 2026. Because none of this makes sense without understanding the ground these men are standing
It
on.
don't,
Let's
bruh.
start with Herm Thaw Black Sheep. If you run in the 4KT internet or you follow NBA Youngboy's circle closely, Herm is not a stranger. He's a rapper under the Never
No
Broke
doubt.
Again umbrella. signed to YB's label, embedded in his circle,
never
one
heard
of the
a
most
song
vocal
by
public
goddamn
soldiers
Herm,
in the
but I know
camp.
who he
He went
is.
on the Mogul State of Mind podcast, on camera, no hesitation, and told the world he
Shit
would
so new
tie
to me.
NBA young boys' shoes if they came untied. His exact words, "I don't give a fuck if his shoes come untied, bro. I'ma tie that beat shit. You know what I'm saying? I'ma do whatever I gotta do to make this suit be how the fuck it's supposed to be." He said he'd hold doors open, hold umbrellas in the rain, do whatever it takes to protect the brand. And yeah, when that interview circulated, people made jokes, people said it was corny, people said he was too deep in YB's pockets, but in hindsight, those people were missing the point entirely. Herm wasn't performing loyalty. He was defining it. He was telling you exactly who he is and exactly what he would do. And on May 15th, 2026,
Crash dummy.
he proved every single word of it.
That nigga
Because when
crash
Top
dummy.
said jump, Herm didn't ask how high. He already knew. He went directly to Young Thug's Instagram page and publicly delivered a message that the entire internet could see, screenshot,
man's
and
though.
share. That's a man who understands his role and is completely comfortable executing it, no matter the target, no matter the consequences. Now let's talk about Young Thug, because the thug you have to understand for this story is not the thug from the lifestyle era or the digits era or even the early slime language era. The thug you need to understand for this story is the thug of 2026, the post-prison version, the man navigating one of the most impossible post-incarceration situations in the history of rap. Here's what happened. Thug
That
was
shit
arrested
came out,
in
bro. I
May
was so fucking
2022
weak.
as part of the YSL RICO case, Georgia's longest criminal trial ever, where prosecutors argued that YSL Records was not just a music label, but a criminal street gang. He sat in Cobb County Jail for over 2.5 years. Then, on October 31st, 2024, Halloween, he accepted a plea deal. 15 years probation, banned from the metro Atlanta
15
area
years,
for a
fucking
decade,
probation is
prohibited
crazy.
from making gang-related music, prohibited from having contact with known gang members, and a backloaded 20-year sentence that activates the moment he violates any of those conditions. That's the situation Young Thug is living in right now. He's free, but he's walking on glass every single day. Atlanta is his city, and he cannot go there. YSL is his label, and he can't mention it in gang-related contexts in his music. The people he built his world with are either convicted, estranged, or publicly beefing with him, and yet, Thug is still moving. He dropped Ooh Why Scooty in September 2025. He's been performing, he's building. But here's what's important to understand. Thug came home and almost immediately started settling scores. Days after his release, he posted, then deleted a shot at Gunna, his former YSL golden boy, the man many believe cooperated in ways that impacted the case. Academics broke it down publicly, saying Thug had been warning Lil Baby and Lil Durk while still incarcerated that Gunna was no good. Then in September 2025, a diss track leaked, reportedly called Closing Arguments, where Thug went off on Gunna, Yacht Gotti, Lil Woody, Slime Life Shawty, YSL Obama, YSL Slug, and more. He called them rats on record. He came home with a list. And throughout all of this, there has been a quiet but persistent tension developing
Didn't that
between
nigga rat
Thug's
too,
camp
though?
and the NBA
That's the
Youngboy
crazy
camp.
part.
Not
That his
open
ass
war,
rat too.
not confirmed public beef, just
You
two
wanna
massive
call it a
movements
rat?
with
That
shared
nigga ratted
history,
too.
shared cultural proximity. Youngboy actually has an YSL chain that Thug gave him, but increasingly different trajectories and different energies. And the question has been building in the background for months. Are 4KT and YSL really aligned, or are they on a collision course? May 15th just answered that question. At 4:21 in the morning on May 15th, 2026, Say Cheese dropped the screenshot on X, and within minutes, the entire hip-hop internet froze. Because the message Herm posted wasn't vague, it wasn't coded, it wasn't a subliminal for fans to speculate about. It was a direct address with a direct message and a direct challenge. Here it is, word for word. At Thugger, one top say your bitch ass ain't slime no more anyway. How you wanna do it? Let me break this apart piece by piece because every single word is doing work here. At Thugger1, that's Young Thug's Instagram handle. Herm is not subliminally hinting. He is tagging Thug directly. He is making sure Thug sees it, making sure the algorithm picks it up, making sure there is zero deniability about who this message is for and who is sending it. This is a direct call out in front of millions of people.
Bro,
Top say,
fucking
Top.
narrator.
That is
So fucking
NBA
precise with
Youngboy's
this- with the
nickname
wording
within
and
his
shit.
circle. Top is not a random reference. This is Herm explicitly invoking YB's
Talking about
name and authority.
explicitly
He is not
invoking this
freelancing here. He is not going rogue. He is very deliberately saying, I am a messenger.
Big
I am
ass
here on
words and
behalf
shit.
of Top. This is not Herm's beef. This is YB's message being
Why the
delivered
fuck they
through
got
Herm.
Future in
That
this shit?
escalates the situation from a soldier's quarrel
Man,
to a
nigga got
principal
bored.
statement. Young Boy Never Broke Again, one of the most powerful independent artists in the history of rap, has looked at Young Thug and has an issue, and he sent his most loyal soldier to say so publicly. Your bitch ass ain't slime no more anyway. Here is where it gets genuinely historic in terms of rap disrespect. Slime is not just a word, it is Thug's word. Young Thug popularized slime as a term of endearment, brotherhood, and street authenticity. It's why his label is YSL, Young Stoner Life, yes, but slime is baked into the identity. It's why he built Slime Language 2. It's why his entire collective calls itself the Slime Nation. For over a decade, if you called yourself Slime in hip-hop, you were tipping your hat to Thug's cultural foot. And Young Boy, through Herm, just took that word, turned it into a verdict and said, you don't qualify. Your beat-seach ass ain't slime no more. You have been stripped of the one cultural title that has defined your entire legacy. That is not a diss. That is an execution. How you want to do it?
Young Boy said he
And
took
then
that
this.
shit.
The challenge. Clear, simple, terrifying in its directness. Not, we got issues. Not, you better watch yourself. Not even a specific threat that can be argued away in court. Just, how do you want to handle this? Name your method. Name your terms. We're here. Top said so. How you want to do it? The internet did not need to be told what this meant. Within hours, the post had spread to every major hip-hop platform. Comment sections were going
I don't know
insane.
how I ain't see this
People who
shit,
don't
bro.
even
This shit
regularly
so fucking
follow
new.
either
I
camp
saw
were
this
being
show
pulled
before
into
you
the
paid.
conversation because the
just
sheer
started reacting to
audacity
it.
of the message was impossible to ignore. And here is what made it even more loaded. The timing. Young Thug has just gotten out of a RICO case. He is on probation. He
No
is
cap.
banned from Atlanta. He has
He
been
do
publicly
anything
beefing
gangsta,
with
they
people from
get
his own
his ass.
camp.
They want that
His
nigga
credibility
bad,
in
too.
certain quarters is taking hits. And right when he is in the middle of trying to rebuild and reclaim the narrative about who he is and what YSL stands for, Young Boy's side shows up and says through a public post, you ain't slime. How you want to do it? It is the most precisely aimed shot you could take at a man in Thug's position. It goes directly at his identity. It comes from a direction he may not have fully anticipated. Not from a YSL internal rival, not from a label adversary, but from the 4KT camp, the most organized and powerful independent machine in rap right now. And it arrives when Thug's options for response are severely limited. Now here's where it gets crazy. The YSL side did not sit still. Before Thug himself even publicly addressed Herm's message, the YSL camp moved. People from Thug's circle came out and addressed Herm, and the energy from their side was not panic. It was not scrambling. It was composed, precise, and
Now I
had the
gotta see this
specific
shit.
quality of people who feel fully backed and have no reason to feel threatened. They were saying, in essence, we see you, we hear what was said, now understand who you're talking to. And then Young Thug entered the conversation himself. Thug called Herm a fan. Pause right there. In the street politics of hip-hop, calling someone a fan is one of the most surgical dismissals you can deploy. It's not just an insult, it's a denial of standing. Thug was saying, you are a spectator. You worship from the outside. You don't have the legitimacy or the authority to address me. You built your identity around riding for somebody else, and that makes you a fan, not a man who can step to me. The implication was that Herm had confused loyalty with relevance, had confused dedication to YB with the ability to pull up on Jeffrey Williams. It was cold, it was calculated, and on the surface, it was classic Thug, taking a direct challenge and refusing to validate it, instead choosing to dismiss the challenger as beneath him. The internet split immediately. 4KT fans were furious at the dismissal. YSL fans were calling it the perfect response. The neutral observers, the ones just watching the scoreboard, recognized that Thug had just poured gasoline on an already burning situation because you don't get to call the messenger a fan and then act like the message doesn't exist. By calling Herm a fan, Thug essentially said, I don't recognize YB's authority to send someone to address me. That is not a small statement. That is a challenge right back. And by 1:56 in the afternoon of the same day, just hours after Thug called him a fan, Herm posted his response. You know what's up from here? 7 words. And everybody who has ever been in the streets, in these kind of situations, in this culture,
Why the fuck
heard
is these
those
niggas
7
beefing?
words the exact
That
same
nigga
way.
Young Thug woke
That
up, what the
phrase has
fuck?
one meaning. It's not open to interpretation.
Why is
It's
these
not a
niggas
metaphor.
beefing, bro?
You know what's up from here is what you say when words are finished and the next move is something
What the
else
fuck
entirely.
these niggas
Think about
beefing
the
for?
position Herm is in at that moment. He came with
Shit,
a
he
direct
coulda
message
goddamn
from
been
top.
at
He
jail and
tagged
shit.
Thug publicly.
Look.
He delivered it
He could have been in jail and shit, talk shit about your boy. He was talking shit about everyone. They probably heard some shit behind the scenes.
clean, no ambiguity,
They won't
no
fuck with
hiding
that
behind
shit.
code. And then the man he addressed called him a fan in front of the same millions of people watching. He got publicly embarrassed. He got publicly dismissed. And he had one of two choices. Go
What that
quiet,
nigga
no
Thug
hiding
say?
behind code. And then the man he
Wait,
addressed,
yeah.
that message from top, he tagged Thug publicly.
Talk, say you a bitch ass and slide on how you want to do it.
He delivered it clean, no ambiguity, no
He said-
hiding
he
behind
said,
code.
"Nigga, shut
And then
your
the man he
fan ass
addressed
up."
called him a fan in front of the same millions of people watching. He got publicly embarrassed. He got publicly dismissed.
nigga,
And
shut
he had
your
one of two
fan
choices.
ass up.
Go quiet and let that dismissal become the narrative, or double down and make clear that he is not afraid of anything that comes with his
Yeah, nigga,
position.
shut your
He chose to
fan
double
ass
down
up.
with 7 words that left nothing to the imagination.
This
And
shit
here's
be
why
funny,
that matters
bro. What
beyond
the
just the
fuck?
internet.
Why
First,
these niggas
Herm not
beefing?
backing down confirms that Top's message was not a bluff. When you send a
this nigga
soldier
Herm
to
look like
deliver
the
a
Undertaker.
message and that soldier gets dismissed and still says, you know what's up from here, it means the message had backing behind it. It means there is infrastructure and intention behind what was said. A real bluff gets quiet when it's challenged. This didn't get quiet. Second, and this is the part that most people are sleeping on, Young Thug is in a genuinely dangerous legal position to escalate this. He's on 15 years probation. He cannot associate with known gang members. He cannot engage in situations that look like gang activity or threats. He has a 20-year suspended sentence hanging over his head. Every post he makes, every association he publicly claims, every confrontation he enters, it's all being watched. The moment this beef looks like it's going from internet smoke
They
to
gonna
something
lock his
real,
ass up.
Thug is the one who has the most to lose by escalating. That asymmetry is significant because what Herm and the 4KT side seem to understand is that Thug cannot fully respond the way his instincts would tell him to. They can be aggressive, they can escalate, they can send messages and double down and move with energy. And Thug, for all his power and all his history, is operating with one hand tied behind his back legally. He has to be strategic. He cannot just react. And the 4KT camp knows this. They've been watching Thug navigate these constraints for months. They know exactly what he can and can't do. And choosing this moment, when Thug is rebuilding, when YSL is fractured, when Thug is publicly at war with multiple former associates, to send this specific message about slime status is not an accident. Third, the ain't slime
I
no
just
more
wanna know why
anyway
these
line
niggas
deserves
beefing
its own
for, bro.
analysis, because that word, anyway, is doing enormous work. Herm didn't just say you ain't slime, he said you ain't slime anyway. The anyway is dismissive. It's like saying this was already true before you even knew it. We didn't decide this because you did something. This is just the reality. You being stripped of that title is not news to us, it's just news to you. That casual dismissal is more cutting than a direct accusation. It's the rap equivalent of saying we already moved on without you. You just haven't caught up yet. That's what Youngboy sent to Young Thug, and that's what Herm put on record in front of the whole internet. Let's pull back and look at where each of these camps actually stands in 2026, because the context of their situations is as important as the words that were exchanged.
Why
Young
these
Thug
niggas
is
beefing,
fighting
bro?
one of the most complex public image battles in recent hip-hop history. He walked out of the plea deal technically free, but contextually caged, banned from Atlanta for a decade, on probation, watching his YSL family be scattered and divided, coming home to a rap landscape that had shifted enormously in the 2+ years he was locked up. He's resilient. Nobody who knows what Thug has survived could deny that. But he's also dealing with fractures everywhere. Gunna is estranged. The closing argument's diss track made clear he views multiple former associates as betrayers. Rich Homie Quan, a man he had deep history with, died while Thug was claiming he was about to testify against him. The internal wars of YSL have been loud, and yet he is still creating. UY Scooty came out, he's still performing, he's still commanding attention. His core fan base has not abandoned him. But when you're on probation and publicly at war with half of your own former circle, and then a camp as organized and powerful as 4KT decides to step to your neck, you are not operating from a position of full strength. Now look at the 4KT side. NBA, Youngboy just came off the Massa tour. 40 consecutive sold-out shows, over 500,000 tickets sold, $70 million in revenue.
That over 500,000 tickets have been sold for the Rapper's Massive Tour to date, and box office gross figures will surpass over $75 million across the 45 sold-out shows.
His Dallas show at American Airlines Center set a personal attendance record. His Barclays Center show in New York became his single highest grossing night at $1.9 million. His streaming dominance is untouched. His fan base, the most passionate, most mobilized, most organized fan base in all of contemporary rap, is at full force. His camp is unified. His operation is clean. There are no major public snitching allegations circulating about NBA YoungBoy's circle. There's no internal beef spilling out publicly. The contrast could not be more stark. And that contrast is exactly what makes the timing of Herm's message so strategic. This wasn't sent when YB was struggling. This was sent from a position of maximum power, right after one of the most successful independent rap tours in American history, at a moment when YSL is publicly fractured. That's not coincidence. That's timing. The street's been watching this dynamic build for months. The feeling in certain circles has been that Thug's post-prison behavior, the social media confrontations, the beefs with former allies, the aggressive online presence despite his legal constraints, was eventually going to cause him to bump against a camp that had no reason to stand down. And in NBA YoungBoy's camp, there was never going to be a reason to stand down. Here's the real tea. What Herm's message ultimately communicates is that the 4KT side has decided that Thug's slime card is revoked. Not because of music, not because of a rap beat, but because of how he has carried himself in the eyes of people who have been watching. Your bitch ass ain't slime no more anyway is a moral judgment, not just a music industry shot. It's saying the things you've done, the way you've moved, the people you've gone at, Top sees it, and the verdict is that you no longer qualify for the brotherhood that your own cultural legacy is built on. That is existential level disrespect. Y'all need to hear this part because this situation is bigger than two individuals and bigger than one exchange. The 4KT versus YSL dynamic has been one of the most quietly significant geopolitical alignments in modern rap. On the surface, these two camps had shared history, shared respect, shared cultural proximity. YB has an YSL chain. Thug advocated for YB's freedom in 2021. At one point, there was genuine love between these worlds, but in rap, and especially in street-rooted rap, love and alliance are two completely different currencies. And what May 15th confirmed is that whatever alliance existed between these camps is gone, or at minimum, the 4KT side has decided it's gone and has put that decision on record. Now think about what that means for the culture. YSL and 4KT are not just music labels, they are movements. They have real infrastructure, real loyalty shares, real people behind them. And when two movements of this size and significance go from shared proximity to open confrontation, the ripple effects touch everyone connected to both of them. Rappers who have been friendly with both sides now have to navigate carefully. Features and collaborations between the two camps don't happen in the same way. The social fabric between Atlanta and Baton Rouge rap culture, which has historically been intertwined, gets more complicated. There's also the question of what Thug can actually do from here. He called Herm a fan. Herm said, "You know what's up from here. Now what?" If Thug escalates further, he risks bringing legal heat on himself in a situation where he literally cannot afford legal heat. If he goes quiet,
Hey, catch out, this bitch going up all 2026, ain't just no females fucking gonna get rich. Y'all get a picture of these niggas beefing. I don't know why this shit stupid. Them niggas just started beefing. That nigga not slime no more. Fuck him. He ain't slime. His ass had been doing some weird shit over the past few years, but y'all get it, bro. Just make sure y'all boys subscribe, bro. I'm out of this bit. I don't want to watch that shit no more.